top of the table.
So, you were once very close friends with this person from school. You spent a whole lot of time with each other, went out for movies, had some first life experiences together. But as you moved out of school and reached college, you started to lose touch with this friend. Daily calls became weekly ones, weekly turned monthly, and then eventually it was just sharing funny forwarded messages with each other, or not even that. I'm sure all of you have been through this at least once in your life, and I'm certain that there are days when you sit down and wonder what happened. No fights, no misunderstandings, no conflicts, yet the friendship faded away. We will look for the answers to all these questions today on Top of the Table. Hi, I am your host and head of content at United We Care, Sheetal Sharma, and with me is our in house clinical psychologist, Jaswandi Sahasrabuddhe. Hi, Jaswandi.
Hey, hello, Sheetal, and all our listeners. You know, Sheetal, when you were actually narrating all of this and giving example, I could actually think of a similar example in my life. So I had a friend, and we were very close. So I was in, I guess, in my 12th. From that till the time I completed my graduation, we were so close. Like close by that I mean we used to actually share tiffins. We used to sit together. Like in 24 hours we were together for more than 14 to 15 hours. So it was so tight and I would say the bond was very different. But I don't know what happened, Sheetal. I have lost all the touch with her, and I don't know. But when you were saying all of this, I actually had this transition from actually sharing everything in my life to sharing funny messages to not sharing anything. And that right now made me feel a bit uncomfortable, to be honest.
No, I'm sure, Jaswandi, and I'm sure that you want to look for those answers, and I'm certain we are going to find some answers to all these things, and also a lot of relationships that actually fade away, apart from friendships, and we are going to find answers for that. But to begin with, tell me, why is it that we lay so much emphasis in having friendships, even in this day and age when half the world is making do with anonymous likes and comments on Facebook or Instagram?
So, Sheetal, just to, I mean, you know what? Man is a social animal, right? Human beings are a social animal, social creatures who need to be among people and not behind the social media. You know, it is very important to have real human friendship and bonds, because I at least in my case, I have realized that some connections help you have healthier emotional state, and also to certain extent, have good sense of belongingness. And I feel as a human being we crave for that. I understand that when we talk about social media, we are all looking at how we can build social connections, how we can get into conversation with different people from different fields. But when we do that, we are just wanting to network rather than build relationships or friendships.
And to be very honest, it doesn't hurt so much when the same person doesn't like your post every day, but it does hurt when a friend decides not to call or stay in touch with you, right?
First of all, this word ghosting is so trendy these days. You know, people have been speaking a lot about ghosting on Instagram and also on social media. So I would first like to emphasize on what is ghosting. You know, ghosting means that one person cuts off all the contact with the other person after a period of, like, say 10 years, 5 years, after a particular period of friendship or also dating. And usually that person avoids to have any contact, which leads to emotional discomfort. You start feeling weird. What I said, Cheetan, if you remember at the before at the beginning of the podcast, is I used to feel, now when you said all of this, I felt weird. Oh yeah, like I have actually ghosted that friend. So ghosting can hurt so much, and the reason is that because human nature is to assume, that something has happened and I deserve this silence, or that person deserves this silence. So somewhere, when a person starts ghosting you, you start doubting yourself. There is a lot of questions that you start asking yourself in terms of your self esteem, and then you potentially see that that the relationship has impacted you a lot when the person has started ghosting you, and that is something that starts hurting you. So you start overthinking, you start doubting yourself, because you feel, okay, I guess this absence of communication is just because of me, because I am like this. I didn't do XYZ thing. So as I always say, Sheetal, you enter this vicious cycle because you're ghosting someone. You are doubting yourself. That results to you not having a doubting, or like your self esteem gets hampered, and again your relationship is not built with that person. So this becomes a vicious cycle, and then coming out of the cycle is very difficult.
And also, Jaswandi, if you are a person who's being ghosted, or otherwise, if you are a person whose friendships have faded away, and let's say if it happens once or twice or thrice, you know, after a point, I think you start, like you rightly said, doubting yourself whether there's something wrong with me because of which my friendships don't last. Till and until you actually kind of sit back and go through the details of it, and finally realize that there was a particular reason why those friendships kind of fizzled away from your life.
So true, Sheetal, because I would say, see, again, when we talk about friendships fading away, it's not always bad that your friendship has faded away. So before you actually get into the self doubt, it is very important to understand, why did this happen? What was the reason that, for example, your friendship faded away, that you are not in touch with this person? So there are times, Sheetal, when I would say people stop getting in touch with you, or your friendship fades away when you feel that you have been constantly judged. You are like, you feel that, okay, you don't feel comfortable in that relationship. You feel whatever you do, the person is trying to judge you. Or even you stop having any contact with a person when you feel that you're not supported, for when you actually need that person's support. You develop that thing of, this connection is not healthy for me, this connection is very toxic. I don't feel good when I'm with this person. When you start realizing all these things is when you actually, it I don't think so that happens voluntarily, Sheetal. It happens involuntarily, that you start creating a distance between with that person, because you feel this is not something that is healthy. It is making me feel uncomfortable. And when all of this starts peeping in, you start feeling that, okay, I don't think I should stay in contact, or I should build this relationship further, or I should take this relationship further.
True, Jaswanti. And in fact, while you were talking about this, I was just remembering my own friendships. And this was back, when I had just started my job and I was friends with these very, very, hoity toity girls, if I may call them so. And, I was a more of a simpleton, plain Jane kind of a person. And there was this constant pressure from them for me to be like them, to dress like them, to do makeup like them. And I think after a point, like you rightly mentioned that even when they're not saying it on your face, but you still feel constantly judged, or you feel that you are not good enough, and that somewhere is building this toxicity, which eventually kind of leads the way out for that particular friendship. And that is something that happened here. Or otherwise, when we talk about connections which are unhealthy, or which are basically built around gossip and complaining, something which happens in a lot of office friendships. The reason why we don't keep in touch with our office friends is because we generally bond while bitching about the boss, or talking about what's not right with the company, and what's not right with the other colleague and stuff like that, which is not really a healthy friendship or a healthy relationship to build with. And that is the reason why it doesn't stick for too long, isn't it?
Yeah, Sheetal, and also, as you were rightly saying, that at times when there's a lot of pressure from your friends, I would say that's when you need to understand, that is that person helping you to grow as a human being. And if you get the answer as no, I feel it is better to create that distance rather than like forcing you to be in that relationship. So you were completely right, Sheetal. At times, because our priorities change, the way we behave changes, the way our personality changes, our friendships also evolve, I would say. you know uh, our view of the world changes. For example, we both are in one organization working together, and so happens that we shift the companies and we go to some other roles. We start doing some other roles, and then you realize, okay, I was a good friend with Jazz, but something just happened and now we're not in touch. As you rightly said, Sheetal, maybe our bond was just to get comfortable with gossiping and complaining about others, and it was not a, I would say, real friendship or real bond. So the our friendship starts to feel fake or forced if you still go on with uh, when you feel uncomfortable. The friendship starts to look like it is very much forced. And I would say, then if you actually part ways from each other, I would say then you are an evolved person rather than just forcing yourself to be in that relationship.
No, absolutely, just one thing. And while you were talking about it, I found two major reasons why some of my friendships faded away. One was, of course, self evolution, because, like you said, that yeah, our priorities change and our worldview changes, and a lot of, so we don't find a common ground between, like when you get together, let's say with maybe friends who were there, you were friends with in school, and now that you have evolved and you worked on yourself, or otherwise you've become a completely different person with completely different set of priorities. When you go back to these same friends, you don't find a common ground where you can talk to each other or also want to connect with each other anymore. It's not that there was some conflict, it's not that you do not like that person, it's just that it was a natural attrition of the friendship, because that particular phase of your life got over. And the second reason why my friendships faded away was that I think there was a massive change in priorities, like I mentioned. What was your assessment of your friendships, Jazz? I'm sure you must have found some answers.
Yes, Sheetal. So when said, I gave my example of my friend who was with me when I was in grade 12th, and then the friendship. I would not say it faded away, but I would say I'm not still in contact with that person at all. But when I look back to that friendship, Sheetal, I would say the two major reasons that I feel that the friendship didn't last long was because, a Sheetal, my personality has changed completely. When I say my personality changed, I would say when I was in grade 12, I was completely an introvert. And when I say an introvert, I actually mean it. I used to find it difficult to actually talk to people, have a conversation, start a conversation. And she was a same person, she was exactly like me. And I used to feel, oh, that is why we bond together, because we have the similar personalities. And if you look at me now, I am total different person. So my personality has changed drastically, that I do not associate or I do not relate to what she uh, posts on Instagram, or even what she associates with, and that made me think right now. When you were talking, when you were sharing your example, I thought, yeah, maybe because my personality changed, maybe that's the reason I'm not in good terms, or I'm not in touch with that friend of mine. The second reason, Sheetal, of me not having a good contact or relationship with my friend is because my priorities did change, Sheetal. When we are, like, when you are adolescent and when you are into your teenage, you generally tend to have your priorities to be enjoying, having fun, having a blast, and like enjoying your life, the king size, what we all adolescents and teenagers say. And if you look at me now, after I completed my bachelor's, I realized that my career is important. I need to focus on my career and not just enjoy my life. And that is something, somehow I shifted my career altogether on my career, focus altogether on my career. And I was not able to maybe give time to my friend who saw a different mask. She might have felt, okay, she is a different person altogether. And Sheetal, I'll tell you one thing that I have realized in me is that when my personality and priorities changed, I became a completely different person. And for my friend who has never seen me like this, it becomes very difficult for such people to accept me. So if you ask me why I didn't go back, is because I feel, oh, I don't think so she will accept me now. because I'm a completely different person.
True, Jaswanti. And while you were talking about, your class 12 experiences and everything, it brought me back a lot of memories from my own school time. And to be very honest, I used to go from one class and to another. And whenever I used to, kind of go from sixth grade to seventh grade or eighth grade, you know, what used to happen was that my old friends used to kind of fade away from my life, and the next class was something absolutely new with absolutely new friends. Do you think I was seeking some sort of excitement and thrill and something new that was coming my way, or was could there have been another reason? Because to be very honest, I don't think at that age I had that understanding of why I was doing that.
So, Sheetal, I would say, see again, that is up to each one, each personality trait, you know. For example, for you, getting something new or the factor of novelty was something that used to excite you. For a person like me, for example, that would have scared me, you know, because for a person who does not like to talk to people, interact, it is a nightmare for that people, that kind of people, you know, just to shift classes, make new friends, it is very difficult. But for you, it was a factor of novelty and excitement that actually encouraged you to actually go and talk to other people, make new friends. But one thing that I will ask you, Sheetal, was that when you made new friends, did you forget the old ones?
No, Jaswanti. So they were there in my life, but not with the same intensity as they were in the previous class. You know what I mean? So our conversations kind of became little or minimal. And I remember a lot of, a lot of my friends complaining that she's like this and she makes new friends in new classes and everything. And then she kind of, talks very little with us and everything. When I think about it, I think I was seeking some thrill in life and some new experiences, because after a while, I think the conversations started circling around the same stuff and same thing, and I didn't see any growth particularly there.
So exactly, Sheetal. So coming back to the first point that we were discussing about, if the relationship does not help you grow as a person, you tend to lose interest in that relationship. You know, let's not talk just about friendship. It's about your love relationship. It's about any relationship that you share. If you feel okay, I'm not growing as a person. I'm not having that. You know that kick. What people say. I'm not having that fun when I'm being around with this person. You tend to lose interest in that relationship, and that's why, you know, it is very important to address when you fade when there is a breakup in the relationship. And when I say breakup, it's not just the love relationship breakup, but the friendship breakup also.
True, Jaswandi, and I think that it's not spoken about. While it impacts us hugely emotionally, somehow friendship breakups are not talked about much, possibly because we are made to believe that, everyone is going to have this everlasting, loving friendship and loving bond, and there is not going to be any breakage, but it's still not talked about as much.
So true, and I feel it is very, very important to talk about and address that there is a possibility that you might experience friendship breakups, you know. So, you know, it has been reported, and people say that what hurts the most is when you experience breakup in a relationship, in a intimate relationship. But you know what, Sheetal? I believe what hurts most is when you have a breakup, when you experience a friendship breakup, because you know you tend to share all the good and bad things with your friend. You don't tend to have any secret. You tend to have secrets in with your boyfriend or a girlfriend, but you generally don't have like secret with your friend. You tend to share everything with him or they. And when there's a breakup, you feel a sense of vacuum. You feel that there's something wrong in me. And that is where we do not address it when it should be addressed. It is very important to actually talk and address that you have experienced a friendship breakup, and how has that affected you. What are the emotions that you have gone through when you have experienced this. So when you address it is when you get time to reflect, Sheetal. You know, you sit down and reflect. Okay, you know, when I'm talking to you about, see, as I said, when I was sharing my experience with my friend, I got the time to reflect, Sheetal. And trust me, I'm going to give her a call today, because I felt my actions were not right, or there was things that didn't work out, but that didn't mean that I had to ghost this friend. That didn't mean that I had to stop all the communication I had with this friend. So I feel when you address the friendship breakup is when you actually sit and get time to reflect on it.
I'm sure Jaswandi and a lot of listeners after listening to this podcast might end up calling some friends. But that brings me to my next question, which is, what if you want to connect with your long lost friend? When do you think that it is the right thing to connect with your old friend, and how to do so?
So I would say, Sheetal, there are two, 3 points that we need to make, or there should be these two, three checkpoints checklist, which helps you to say, okay, all these three things have been ticked off, and I guess now I should go and talk to my friend or reconnect with my friend. So the first and the most important thing is listen to your inner voice, what the voice is trying to tell you. Think about what will happen if you have connected now. What will happen, and how is it going to benefit you in the 3 months going ahead? If if you're still in connected with this person, how is that going to benefit you? How are you emotionally going to get benefited with this reconnection? And if you get these reasons and answers to these questions, I feel yes, you should go and talk to this person. Because as I said, I'm again coming back to my example, because I actually thought about these things, and today I felt okay, I should reconnect with this friend. The second checklist, or I would say second point, is if someone has not connected with you, or you have not connected with him or her or they, when you had a major life event. For example, you got married, you had a big success that you have achieved, you lost someone, or you delivered a baby, and yet you have not informed or you have not got in touch with that person, then I would say it is better we do not get into further a relationship with that person, because that friendship was not a healthy one, it was a toxic one, and it is okay to let it go. Because if you have not informed or messaged or got in touch with this person in your good and bad times, then I will ask this question: what is the use of such friendship or such bond? And the last but not the least, the third checklist, or the third checkpoint, would be also think about how rebounding or regaining this friendship can help you grow as a person. As Sheetal, we are talking about this since the start of our podcast, that all friendships, all relationships should help you grow as a human being. And if you feel this relationship, if you regaining your relationship or reconnecting is going to help you grow as a person, I would say this is the time when you should actually get in touch with this person. So, to all the listeners out there, I would say, I would like to tell you today that if you have a friend with whom you have lost contact, or your friendship has faded away, and if you think all these three checkpoints are ticked off, this is the time you get in touch with that person and just start a new friendship, a new path to a great bond of friendship, Sheetal.
Absolutely, Jaswandi. And I think a lot of people might give that call, that maybe they have been dreading over the past and how to start that conversation. Or maybe they might just sit back and think whether that friendship was worth getting reconnected with. Thank you so much, Jaswandi, for all this information. And for our listeners, to reiterate what Jaswandi said, you must listen to your inner voice, and also remember how that particular friendship made you feel and how it would make you feel 3 months or 6 months down the line before you reconnect back with that friend. Thank you, Jaswandi, for giving us all the information about friendship breakups and why they happen. I think it is a topic that is very less talked about, but very, very important to be talked about. Okay, guys. So next time round, we'll bring another interesting topic with you. And I'm sure somewhere in our podcast, we will also talk about what healthy friendships look like. All right. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back again.